Okay, everyone, welcome along to another episode of Championship Drill. We had a bit of a break at the weekend as there was only about 4 games going on at the time. But we had midweek games now as well that we're going to talk about and all of that. And some of the FA Cup results. Jerry and Phil here as always. You guys had a good week? Enjoy some of the football that was going on?
How are we doing?
I enjoyed last night and I enjoyed the night before Manchester United lost as well.
Yeah.
Underdogs, back. I'd rather chase that title now than being far ahead. It's more exciting when we're chasing that title.
Yeah, it's looking like a good one. Looking like a
great
one.
That's their first goal. That's Liverpool's first goal in a month.
Yeah.
So look, all I hear is 3 points. All I hear is 3 points.
Yeah, it's a close run thing in the Premier League, with the Championship too shaping up to a nice battle, especially for second place, I think. Yeah. But before we go into the games that were kind of all over the place, game on Friday, game on Saturday, a few Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, games all over the place in the Championship this week. Some teams playing twice, some teams not playing at all. It's
one game last Saturday.
One game last Saturday, yeah. It's kind of been a crazy one. But that was because the FA Cup was on and a few of the Championship sides in action. A lot of them playing each other in the FA Cup fourth round. So if we go through some of the results for the Championship teams, big win for Bristol City over Millwall. So they move through. Barnsley, good win over Norwich for them.
Yeah.
Swansea absolutely hammered Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
Brentford, unlucky, I suppose, in some ways to lose to Leicester. Sheffield Wednesday got hammered by Everton.
Yeah.
Wickham kind of fell apart in the last 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Very unlucky.
So
and Bournemouth had a good win. What's that?
No, we're so close.
So close. Wickham were very close, weren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, they conceded 3 goals in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, they might take some positives from that, though, hopefully.
Hopefully. And Bournemouth with a win as well. So it's it's looking good as we move into the FA Cup fifth round. There's going to be a few teams in there. Swansea, their reward, I suppose, for hammering Nottingham Forest is they've got to play Man City next in the next round. Bournemouth are going to be away to Burnley. Bristol City are playing away to Sheffield United, and Barnsley are at home to Chelsea. So interesting ones. Interesting.
Burnley are dark horses.
Yeah, definitely.
Sheffield United, Bristol City.
Yeah, Bristol City.
Sheffield
kind
United,
of their league form's been up and down lately, but anything can happen in the FA Cup. Tough draws though, really, for all the Championship sides.
Yeah.
And they got a bit unlucky that none of them are kind of playing each other to get on. But I suppose we're getting down near the business end of the FA Cup anyway. So, we'll see what happens. Anything can happen, I suppose, as in a cup competition.
I'd be expecting definitely 2 or 3 of them Championship teams to come through them games. Like you always do in the FA Cup. It's pressures on the Premier League team, you know what I mean? So I won't be surprised, especially with so many teams kind of battling around the top 8 now at the moment in that Premier League. I won't be surprised to see a couple of teams being weakened and the Championship teams kind of shining through them then,
Yeah, it was kind of interesting. I think especially Brentford, who were playing against Leicester City, was usually it's the Premier League side that rests the players. Brentford rested most of their players for that one. Yeah. They rested quite a few. Obviously, Tony was suspended for it, which that was kind of handy for Brentford in a way, wasn't it? Get his suspension out of the way in the cup match.
Yeah. Massive. He's such an elite player for them, like.
Absolutely. So I suppose we'll move on to the games, and some of these teams are going to be playing twice. It's just the nature of it. And it seems like it was about 4 months ago that Stoke played Watford last Friday night. Yeah. Troy Deeney, penalty and an assist, set up Sarr for their second one. Fletcher pulled one back for Stoke later on. Stoke, though, since Campbell got injured, Lee Gregory got injured, they're not scoring any goals. They tried. If I can remember, we were talking while this game was going on about the weird way they set up, playing Powell almost up front rather than out wide in this one. Strange one. A big win for Watford, I suppose. Only their 3rd away win of the season. I know it seems like about 4 months ago that we got to see this one on TV last Friday night, but
Sarr's goal is really good.
What's that?
Sarr's goal is great.
was very good, very well taken, very good finish.
And Troy again with his usual centre down the middle.
Down the middle, until a goalkeeper stands still and takes one in the face, I don't think they're going to save too many of his penalties.
Even then, they're still going in with that power on them.
It's unbelievable. You literally have to stand there and just let the ball absolutely knock you out nearly to save it.
I've seen a bizarre rumour, lads. This is going to sound crazy, right? But I've seen a rumour that West Brom want to sign Benteke, but the rumour to be is that he may go to Stoke. And I just can't get my head around it, but there's serious talk on Benteke going to Stoke City on loan until the end of the season.
Now, they want him out. Palace want him.
It's strange. It's a very strange one, but you just won't be surprised if it happens.
Stoke definitely needs someone.
I don't think the West Brom deal is going to go ahead.
Yeah.
So you could be right.
Stoke definitely need a forward. With Campbell out injured, they just don't look like scoring at the minute. Powell has kind of stepped up and got a couple for him since he's been out injured, but you can't rely on him to play up front really. Fletcher, we know, can get goals, but again, he's definitely the wrong side of 30, and he's not a guy that's going to be able to play 3 games a week. So interesting one. Big win for Watford though, who are not good away from home.
Yeah.
But they're starting to pick up a couple of away wins now. That was their 3rd of the season, and they're 2nd in the last couple of weeks. So maybe they're away from picking up under the new manager.
Yeah, experience and play a vital role.
Yeah, I think that's 12 points. Is it like 10 points from the last 12?
Yeah.
Watford.
Yeah, they're doing really, really well, and it's some battle at the top of that table. We'll come to that later on, but it's getting crazy close up there. We'll talk about it when we talk about the Brentford-Swansea game. Then on Saturday, there was one game, which Derby County won 1-0 away to QPR. Kazim Richards, 4th goal of the season, but I mean, he's only played 7 or 8 games. It's not like he's been playing all season for them, but he had a ridiculous miss early on. I don't know, he just totally missed the ball. But I suppose he put that to one side to get the winner. Charlie Austin had a header just wide. He had another shot saved. QPR had won 2 games coming into this one after a bit of poor form, so they're not going to be too happy with the loss. News, I suppose, coming out that Derby County paid their players for December, and I think we were talking about it yesterday, but I think the BBC are now reporting it as well. They've also been paid for January, so the wages have all been paid up, which is a sign Derby are heading in the right direction.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a rumour that Rooney's after giving some of his wages towards. I think he took a deduction, or he donated some of his wages towards other players.
Yeah, he could well have done.
Could have done. Yeah.
QPR Warburton was not happy after the game. He felt absolutely they should have had a penalty with Kazim Richards again, who's kind of been the centre of attention for a lot of this. Looked like a handball. And the players around him, they say that always, don't they? That you look at the players' reaction around them, and the QPR players were convinced he handled it.
Yeah. Convinced. Yeah, it did look. I don't know.
He's a big boy. Like it did look like it touched him. Right, to be fair.
Yeah. It's one of those. It's probably not handball last season or the season before, but it's.
Yeah,
but the way we're going, I reckon we'll have VAR in the Championship in 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at
keep it away, keep VAR away from that. Like it's you can never talk. It's you miss that chat, lads, of going to a game and leaving the game and saying he was offside or he handled the ball. There's always that solid debate after a game, but no, it's like you know what I mean. We watched the game last night, Liverpool Spurs, where Son's leg, his heel is just literally offside.
But not even that. The other decision with the handball was as well. It bounced up and hit him in the hand.
Keep it away from the Championship. The Championship is unique. It's special. Don't ruin the Championship. It's great to see a linesman make a blunder or a referee make a blunder. I mean, threatened outside the ground afterward. You miss that, like, you know what I mean? Yeah.
And we'll come to that in the Middlesbrough game where the ref made an absolute hames of a decision.
Oh Jesus, yeah. But no, Kazim Richards is the kind of player that would do my head in.
Yeah. He's another one of those Sambalangas.
But he's so he can be so good, and then he's just. I know he got lucky; he was in the right place at the right time for the shot, but
that miss early on, when I
That
said
miss
6
was
yards
terrible.
out. It might have been about 8 yards
Terrible.
out. Maybe it was a bit harsh on him, but he totally missed
But
the
I will
ball.
say one thing though, they've been so much better with him in the team.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he gives them that experience that you need. And I suppose with Rooney taking himself out of the squad, they needed somebody with a bit of experience to be in there. We move on
His
then to
story is
Preston.
remarkable. Sorry, his story is remarkable though. It's incredible what he's done since he's come in. Like, credit where it's due.
Yeah.
And a big call from Rooney to first put him back in, and he hasn't let him down. Like we said, 4 goals now in the amount of games he's played, which is probably about, I don't know how many, 8 or 10 games or something, which isn't a bad return. Preston Reading 0-0. Preston's first draw in 10 matches, which is kind of a bit unusual. Not a great game. Joe will be very disappointed with the penalty miss to give Reading what would have been a nice away victory. Preston should have had a goal. Reece Jacobson, it was kind of a bit of a scramble in the box, and he went to kind of toe poke it. He really should have put more behind it. It was kind of well saved, but he should have scored. But Swift, who scored a great free kick, we were talking about it in the last episode, his free kicks just look, every time he takes free kick, it just looks so dangerous, whether he's having a shot or putting in a cross. And Preston really struggled with those free kicks. Everson on goal for them made a few good saves, and most of it came from Swift on the dead balls. Reading have been really, really good, and like with Swift recently, that's a new weapon now they seem to have with his free kicks and his ability to put a cross in.
Yeah, huge difference when you have a player like that. He's like the Beckham of the Championship, like. But when you have a player that can crack the ball or he stands for a free kick, like anything can happen. And it's just one of them kind of versatile players where they are dangerous no matter where they hit the ball from. I think most squads have him these days, like, you know what I mean? But he's definitely a danger, and he had Preston under a lot of pressure, to be fair, you know. Absolutely.
And Scott Sinclair had a chance early on. He probably should have done better with, but he didn't. But I suppose 0-0 was kind of a fair result overall in this game. Neither side created brilliant chances, I suppose, other than the Jacobson and the few times Swift would ball in the box.
Yeah, I seen Preston lost a player too. I think there was. I know we might talk transfers.
He's going to Celtic. He's going to Celtic in the summer.
Who's that?
Who's going to? Is it Ben something? Is going to Celtic?
No, I think he's gone to Bournemouth.
He is. He's gone to. He left today. He went to Bournemouth, I think, today, for an undisclosed fee.
Okay.
Big loss for Preston.
There's talk he was going to Celtic.
Yeah. No, he's well liked by the fans. He hasn't really been playing a ferocious amount this season. But he's a character. Like, he is a character, and fans are going to miss that. Fans always miss a guy that he's always up for a bit of a laugh and a joke. And having one of those guys around the clubhouse is great.
He didn't get the proper send off either, like, with the fans. Sometimes the fans like to give a player a send off, like, but it's just the way it is.
But they've brought in a lot of players, Preston, so they were always going to have one or two go out as well. So we don't know what the fee is, but it's not a bad signing for Bournemouth, and can only help them, I suppose, with Wilshere and them coming in as well to help them. It's looking good for them. But draw for Preston, which isn't the worst thing in the world. They're just hanging on in there in that fight for the promotion places.
Yeah. Just speaking of Bournemouth, there's a thing there about Anthony Gordon from Everton going on loan to Bournemouth.
Coming in on loan, there's a few players coming in. We're going to talk next to the Middlesbrough-Blackburn game. And
that was a crazy game.
Absolutely mental, wasn't it? And I think there's a player. Is there a player supposed to come into Middlesbrough? From Everton as well. I'm not sure if that's going to go ahead or not, but we'll see. But we'll talk about this one, I suppose, as we're on at Middlesbrough Blackburn, 1-0 to Blackburn. Rotwell with the winner, but they can count themselves very, very lucky. I suppose controversial incident in this one, 14 minutes in, it was a very high boot from Brantwaite. He caught him
square in the face. He caught him square in the face.
You think of the Mane one where he was sent off a couple of seasons ago. It wasn't dissimilar to that. He caught him very high in the face. Not only did the referee not send him off, the referee didn't even give a penalty. He said it wasn't a foul. No, after the game, Warnock came out and said that, speaking with the doctor, it was a millimetre away from his eyeball, and the player is lucky he didn't lose his eye in the challenge. Now, Fry obviously came off after it. how does the referee or the linesman or anyone mess up a decision like that so bad?
That's what I'm saying. That's why they're going to have to do something with VAR, because that was so dangerous.
Yeah.
And to not even book him, he didn't even give a penalty. It wasn't even a foul in the referee's eyes. And like we said, Fry was very, very lucky he didn't lose his eye, according to the team doctor.
Yeah, it was enough to make the headlines in Sky News. I was watching Sky Sports News, and obviously I seen Warlock give a chat afterwards and stuff, and he's a very vocal and passionate man, but it was quite crazy, to be fair. You know what I mean? No, obviously I don't think it was meant, but like, you know what I mean? In a game like today, you know what I mean? If that was the Premier League, he probably would have got a 10-game ban, and the referee would have given 2 penalties. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's like a high boot, whether you mean it or not, is dangerous play under the rules.
Yeah.
Whatever about not sending him off. I mean, it's, he caught him accidentally, he cut him open, and it was just luck that he didn't lose his eye, I suppose. But it's a penalty. I don't know how the ref doesn't give a penalty. But there you go. Phil's buddy, Sambalanga, had a couple of chances, but he had one of those when he missed. This one would hit the post a couple of times. Armstrong had a good chance for Blackburn. He was put through. His runs in behind are so dangerous. And there was one where he was put away. He was kind of at a tight enough angle, and he didn't really do his best with it. He kind of tame enough effort in the end. But he's so dangerous off the last man. And, Blackburn probably didn't really deserve to win. It probably deserved to be a draw. But
Phil gave that nod there. I think he was in Phil's accumulator. Phil could have given the nod to say he's have to let me down again.
Yeah, like Sheffield Wednesday are the team that no one should ever do.
No, they'll always let you down. Always let you down. We'll move on to the next one. So Bristol City against Huddersfield. 2-1 to Bristol City. But this is one of the games where you just wonder, how the hell did the team that lose? Didn't Huddersfield
have 26 shots?
Huddersfield had 26 shots, 6 of them on target. 4 of their shots off target hit the woodwork, because hitting the post and bar counts as a shot off target. 26 shots, 6 on target, 4 times they hit the woodwork. In the meantime, Bristol had 2 shots on target and they both went in.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Dideo got the goals. Horrible defending for both goals, really. Bakuna pulled one back for Huddersfield, who created so many chances without scoring. And like we said, they hit the woodwork 4 times. Bristol had 4 shots in the game to Huddersfield's 26. They stole the victory. There's no other way. But, this is a tough one.
A draw is probably fair.
This is a tough one, though, if you're Huddersfield. When you dominate a game like that, and you give away 2 silly goals, and you end up losing it, and you've had so many chances, and you only score 1 of them. Yeah. It's a strange feeling, I'd say, because you're leaving the pitch, you've played well, you've created a lot of openings, and mistakes at the back have cost you the game. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see how Huddersfield pick themselves up for the next game. But Bristol, who aren't in the best run of form at the minute, good win for them.
Very good.
Yeah, I still could have write them off, though. I could have write them off to finish in the top 6, definitely.
They'll be a top 10, 12 team.
Yeah, I tipped them at the start of the season to be thereabouts, but I think now it's just, I just don't see that spark there, It's unfortunate.
Yeah, and Huddersfield are not on a great run of form themselves. I mean, so when they play well like that and still lose, that's going to be worrying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We move on into another 0-0, but unlike the Preston game, this one was quite entertaining, especially the first half. Not so much second half. Second half
there was a goal by Millwall that was very borderline.
Very, very tight. I'd say he was possibly just offside, but it's one of those where we don't have the benefit of the lines like we have in the Premier League, or the best of angles. But Jay Cooper, I think it was in Millwall, was the guy that put the ball in the net. He also had hit the woodwork with a header, but cleverly had a free kick, hit a defender, came back off the post. Sarr, who's in great form, like you said, had a shot saved. Watford dominated possession and, had a lot of the ball in the first half. But like we said, Cooper twice nearly scored, once hitting the woodwork, and then that goal was ruled out for offside. Very tight. Very, very tight.
Millwall will be delighted with a draw.
Absolutely. There wasn't really a great lot in the second half. There was a shot came in from, I forget who it was, someone in the midfield for Watford. The keeper saved. The rebound fell to Deeney, who, had a nice shot, really. And the keeper managed to get back and save that and tip it over. Great double save, really. I suppose Millwall will be happy they're not conceding goals again. They're starting to be a bit more solid like they were at the start of the season. And, Watford, like we said, their away form hasn't been brilliant. They've only won 3 away games this season. So a point away isn't the worst result for them, given that they, had 2 games in the space of a few days, really.
Yeah. They'll take it, definitely.
Yeah. And it's one of those where we said, we're going to come to Cardiff next, Mick McCarthy's first game charge for them. But it's one of those where Millwall didn't pull the trigger and they've kept their manager. And it's Monday is the transfer deadline day. It's getting.
I think as long as they don't go down, he'll be there next season.
Yeah, it's kind of to the point now where it doesn't look like he's going to be going anywhere.
No. Unless they lose 10 games.
Yeah.
In
ways you have to respect that, you know what I mean? In ways, stick behind your manager. All right, look, we're not going to get a promotion. We'll stay up, hopefully fans are back next season. We'll give you more. In ways, I respect that, you know what I mean? But it's just, you know what I mean? It's frustrating because Millwall is such a big club. The fans are ferocious fans, you know what I mean?
And Troy Parrott just had to work for them.
No,
and it's just,
they're not scoring goals, but defensively they've been pretty solid. They went through a bad run where they were letting in goals, but it seems like they're getting a kind of defensive stability back again. We move on then, I suppose, to Mick McCarthy. Interesting enough, Mick's first 2 games are against 2 clubs he used to play for. Barnsley, that they played on Wednesday night, and then obviously they're home to Millwall, I think, Cardiff, at the weekend. So good on Mick, playing teams he knows well. Barnsley, good win over Norwich in the Cup, obviously. Anderson and Woodrow, who's having a great season for them. 2 goals, Mick, who played, I think he, played a lot of his career actually at Barnsley, took charge of Cardiff for the first time, and it's 9 times, I think, he's taken a team to Barnsley, and he's never lost. So even at 2-0 up, they were always going to have a chance. Ojo and Moore.
They were terrible defending. Terrible defending from Cardiff.
Yeah. Ojo and Moore, I suppose, with the goals to keep the run going that Mick hasn't lost yet playing Barnsley as a manager. Disappointed, Barnsley, I suppose, because you're 2-0 up, you're always going to be disappointed. And like you said, the
also it's very strange that he dropped Harry Wilson.
Strange one. He dropped Sean Morrison, the club captain, as well. And Harry Wilson he dropped. And Aidan Flint, his first game of the season. I think he was out on loan somewhere.
Do you reckon it's just too many games?
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see his team when they're at home to Millwall at the weekend, who he puts out. Because again, we don't know. Like Harry Wilson could have had a bit of a muscle problem. And he's like, look, I'm not going to risk him because we're going to need him down the line. Same with Morrison.
Exactly.
But they'd lost 6 in a row. So for him to come in and for them to come back from 2 goals down to get a point, that's going to give everyone a lift at that club, surely.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Good way to start things off. Do you know what I mean? It's Big Mick knows what he's doing. And yet again, I always bring up Jack Byrne, but Jack Byrne was saying he was grateful for what Big Mick done for him, and got him out to Cyprus and fought half for the move. So it could be only a matter of time before Jack is back in the Championship and he's playing with Cardiff.
Who knows? Then we move on to Coventry. Good win against Sheffield Wednesday, who I don't think when was the last time Sheffield Wednesday played a game when we were covering?
I think only Wickham are worse than them for not playing games.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I think they're 3 or 4 games behind everyone else.
It's crazy. Like we say, Gyökeres with the first since he joined on loan from Brighton. A great assist from O'Hare in this one, and O'Hare was outstanding again. He set up the second goal as well for Allen.
Yeah,
and he just had a great game. When he's on form, Coventry just look a different side.
But I think Sheffield Wednesday now are in real trouble.
They are. They created very little. I think maybe they had 1 shot on target in this game. Coventry took the chances they had, and there was a lot of that this week where teams just took the chances they had. But you can't fault the teams. They both gave it a go, and the weather was shocking. It was absolutely appalling. The weather conditions. Shocking, it was a case of two teams who tried their best in horrible conditions, and Coventry took their chances.
Great win, though. Jeffrey went. Great win.
Huge win, because they're one of the teams that Wednesday are going to think we could catch them. So whenever you can do that, it's always good. And Coventry, who have been showing signs lately of getting back to that early season form. I know the results early season weren't great, but they're back to that, real entertaining football. And O'Hare, I suppose, keeps them ticking that way.
Yeah.
We come on then to another one here, Middlesbrough Rotherham. A result I don't think anyone saw coming.
I think Jerry did. Jerry saw it coming.
Yeah. Jerry saw it coming. To be fair, Jerry did see it coming. But it's only the second time I think the season Borough have conceded 3 goals in a match.
Rotherham looked like a team that were on top of the table.
Yeah, they played very, very well. But it was another game really as well. Crooks, nice goal.
Yeah.
Smith with a goal.
He was very good.
Who only came the day before and scored a goal for Rotherham.
Yeah.
I think he just signed from Wolves on loan, and he only literally 24 hours before kickoff. Rotherham stay in the relegation zone after this one, 2 points behind Derby, but 2 games in hand as well. But Borough's form has been, very worrying lately if they want to keep up the pressure in the playoffs. But Balassi coming in on loan from Everton, that's a big signing for Middlesbrough, and they'll be hoping
that's a great signing,
that he's going to be able to do things for them.
I think he's the kind of player now that they need, and to get him to that next level. Like, they need him, and they obviously need forwards as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They will put it out of the bag, though. It's going to come. They're going to get someone. Mark my words.
Do you reckon they'll finish 6th? Do you reckon Middlesbrough finish 6th?
I don't know. I still think 6th place is going to come from a Blackburn or a Preston.
Yeah.
I think one of them is going to make a run at it.
Like, if Preston got promoted after all this season, like, that is madness.
But I could see one of those 2 teams making the run, and Middlesbrough just dropping out. Like, was it Forest dropped out last season on the last day?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, so I could see something like that happening as well this season. Obviously, Stoke are right there as well. But there's a few teams that aren't in great form in and around that 6th place at the moment. So it's definitely primed for someone to go on a run. I know Borough's form's it's just not been good. And like we said, those old, you remember those old, videos you get, or they might be on TV or whatever, they're like own goals and gaffes kind of videos.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You could have nearly had one of those for Middlesbrough in this game with the chances they missed. I mean, they were just hilarious, some of the shots they took.
Yeah.
Morsey and Sambalonga again. Sambalonga had one of those days where he was more likely to hit the corner flag than the back of the net when he had a chance. But,
I think Warnock would put it out of the bag, though. He knows what he's doing, and he's got first contacts. You know what I mean? So it's they're just lacking one or two players.
Balassi will be a huge difference.
How got Balassi in is beyond me, but they managed to do it. They were crying out for another winger, like someone as well to help him out. So he's really improved that team, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
But we'll wait and see. But Rotherham, they're hitting a bit of form since, they've missed a load of games, obviously, because of COVID, but they're hitting a bit of form. And, 2 games in hand.
Still missing 1 or 2 players too?
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, they're certainly not down and out, that's for sure.
Yeah. I still can't figure for the life of me why Richie Towe left Rotherham and went to Salford.
Yeah.
It was strange. They were saying it was money and stuff, but like Richie was one of their star players, you know what I mean? It's strange.
Yeah.
I know it's changing the subject, but bizarre.
Absolutely. So we move on to the final game we're going to talk about today. Swansea versus Brentford. This was another one similar to the Huddersfield game up above, where it's kind of how the hell Brentford didn't win this one.
Yeah.
And the goal as well, the equaliser. I think the equaliser was a foul.
absolutely, like, he like elbows the goalkeeper or something. It was like, but Swansea had 2 shots in the entire game. Brentford had 21, and yet it finished level.
Man.
Like at Swansea, they'll be delighted with the result, but not the performance.
But what I found funny was the Swansea manager saying that it was fair game like that. What was he watching?
I have no idea what game he was watching. Fosu Henry put Brentford ahead. Swansea then had Norton sent off for a ridiculous challenge on Tony.
Yeah, second yellow,
bringing him down to get a second yellow. Cork man though, Conor Horan, his debut. He put he got the goal. Absolutely, it was a cross. Absolutely, the goalkeeper was fouled, but the ball found the back of the net. Swansea won't care. The goal counted for them. Dasgard, De Silva, Tony all had chances. A little bit really tight at the top. Brentford 2 points behind second place Swansea with a game in hand. Watford are the team in between the two of them. Brentford 4th at the moment. Brentford looking really, really good. It's going to be some fight for second place.
Yeah,
exciting for a fan. I maintain I think Swansea will definitely be thereabouts. Conor Horan, great move for him. I think Swansea are a big club. If I'm not mistaken, when he joined Villa, I think he joined them from Barnsley or someone else. Who was it again?
Villa.
I can't remember now. But you know what I mean? It's I was surprised he left Villa, but he's going to be a huge addition to Swansea. Probably the signing of the window for me, to be honest, so far.
Yeah.
Very, very good. But I mean, if you think about like who Bournemouth have got now, in their midfield in Wilshire and bringing in Pearson as well. You've got Watford who are doing better away from home and are so good at home. You've got Brentford who are flying it. You've got Swansea who have been good, and all of them are pushing for basically to see who finishes runner-up to Norwich, who are surely going to win the league. Basically, so it's going to be really, really exciting. And then, like we said, that leaves maybe one other spot open for somebody to make the playoffs.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to the last 2 or 3 shows before our summer break. It's going to be immense. I'd say we're going to be on the edge of our seats, you know what I mean? And that's what we want.
Yeah, you know it's definitely looking like it's going to be a quality end to the season.
Yeah.
So quickly there, goal of the week?
Sarr.
I think Sarr, surely. Sarr.
Yeah.
In terms of the team of the week?
Rotherham.
Rotherham.
Has to be, doesn't it? Rotherham out of nowhere, getting a 3-0 win.
Yeah.
And player of the week?
Crooks.
Crooks for you? Yeah. I liked O'Hare at Coventry. I thought he was outstanding again the other night.
I'm going to say Crooks. I'll go off with
Crooks was good, yeah. And the shock of the week, I suppose, as well, has to go to Rotherham winning 3-0 away.
Oh, yeah.
Probably winning 3-0, yeah.
Not to Jerry. Jerry called it. So.
I just have a feeling.
All right, guys. So we'll have a look ahead quickly to the weekend fixtures. Tonight, we have an interesting one. Reading home to Bournemouth.
Very hard to call.
Yeah.
I'm going to say
4 teams will take a draw.
Yeah, I'm going to say Reading.
Reading at home, yeah. I think Bournemouth away are going to take this one. I think they look good midweek, and Reading are hitting a bit of a.
And you think it's a draw, yeah?
Right, Jerry's a draw. So we're all going for different results here. Good stuff. What about Saturday lunchtime kickoff? This will be on TV. It should be a good one. Norwich Middlesbrough.
1-0 to Middlesbrough.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
You think Middlesbrough are going to do it to Norwich? No, I can't see Norwich losing at home. Sambalonga might get a goal though. Who knows? He's due one. He's had 2 poor games.
Yeah, I think Middlesbrough.
Birmingham against Coventry.
Birmingham.
1-1.
Birmingham.
Yeah, Birmingham are looking to bring in a player today from Aberdeen. The young striker name is escaping me at the minute. He hasn't exactly set Scotland on fire though. I think he's got like 3 goals in about 16 appearances this season. But
yeah, he hasn't done a Jays Kabia. 2 games in with Livingston, he's flying.
He's doing really well. Doing really, really well. But yeah, Birmingham, Coventry.
Birmingham.
1-1.
Yeah, I think Coventry might steal this one. I think they're just hitting that bit of form again. Birmingham haven't played. Blackburn home to Luton Town.
Blackburn.
Yeah, Blackburn.
I think Blackburn to sneak this one as well. Tough one for Wickham after their defeat, but away to Brentford.
Brentford.
Yeah, I think everyone. You probably hope Wickham will win, but who knows? Who knows? I think Wickham will be happy if they got a point out of that one.
2-1 to Brentford, even though I want Wickham to win. I think they will score. Yeah.
I think Wickham, if they got a point out of that one, be delighted. Just the way both teams are playing at the minute. Wickham, they were so unlucky. Really, really were. Like, I mean, they didn't deserve that 4-1 at all.
No.
Cardiff home to Millwall, Mick McCarthy's first home game, and of course it's against one of his former clubs.
I reckon another draw.
A draw here for Mick again.
Yeah.
I'd say Cardiff will win 3-0 and Harvey. Harvey.
Yeah, I think Cardiff are going to win this one. I think Mick will have had a bit longer to work with them. And I can't see them conceding a goal, so we'll see. Yeah. Well, it's more I can't see Millwall scoring a goal than I can't see Cardiff conceding a goal. There we go. Derby, home to Bristol City. Big game for both teams here.
This will be I think a draw.
Draw.
Yeah.
7-7.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll go for Derby 2-0.
Yeah. I think a draw with this one, which would do neither team much good, to be honest. But there you go. Huddersfield home to Stoke. Both teams could probably use a good result.
Stoke will win that one, I think. 2-0.
Yeah.
I reckon I go with you as well. Stoke away from home here. I think Huddersfield are. No, there's something not right with them at the minute. Forest, who got hammered in the cup, didn't play midweek. Up against Barnsley.
Forest,
who had a good win in the cup.
I think Forest
at home.
Yeah.
I'll go for Forest as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll go for a draw on this one. Rotherham, good form at the minute, up against second place Swansea though.
Do you know what? It could be a draw.
Yeah.
I think Rotherham would take the draw.
2-0 to Swansea.
Yeah.
2-0. I think Swansea will win it as well. But I think if Rotherham got something like that, they'd really show teams. And then finally, Sheffield Wednesday at home to the away day specialist, really, Preston.
Sheffield Wednesday.
I think they'll win this one.
Yeah.
Oh, Preston.
I think Preston will sneak this one too. I know why. I think they're just good away from home. I think Malumbi is going to have a great game for them at the weekend. And they'll steal the victory, as it were.
I love it. Hope you have already
that's about it for this one. It would be nice. He's been on the bench an awful lot, especially given they were allowed 5 subs in the championship. So hopefully, maybe he'll come on and get the winner and stoppage.
Yeah, you have to stop teasing him.
I know. So anyway, we will leave there, guys, and we will be back Sunday to talk about those weekend games when hopefully there'll be a few shocks and surprises. And obviously with Monday being the transfer deadline, there might be a few more players that have moved between now and then.
That's it.
So we'll talk to everyone then. Thanks for listening in, guys.
Cheers.
Thanks, guys.